Hello and welcome back to the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Wood and I'll be your co-host.
And I'm Donna Donyan, your other co-host. For those unfamiliar with Veterans Corner, this is an information show for our veterans, for their family members, and those that support veterans.
Yeah. Thank you, Donna. And for those that missed maybe the first show, Donna's the brand new co-host, and it's an honor to have her here. Monique moved out of state with her husband, and we're really lucky to have Donna here. We've been friends for
Too long.
It's been too long. I've got nothing to that one, but it's going to be a great matchup. Thank you, Donna. We have returning guests. One of the things, we got a different format, different set here. Obviously, everything's moving in the right directions. We've been shut down for 2 years. This is our second show coming back, and we're excited to really, continue with our mission statement of getting the word out to all services and organizations that provide services for our veterans. And with us today is Healing Hoofbeats. Healing Hoofbeats, no stranger to this show, Renee. Nikki's usually here, but we have Elizabeth. I don't have my glasses. Carlucci. Carlucci. It's great to have you back. Renee is the founder of Healing Hoofbeats, and she's got a number of degrees and titles after her name. We'll be here for a while, so we'll just say Healing, the founder of Healing Hoofbeats. And Elizabeth, you are a licensed clinical social worker.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Welcome. This is the first time here for you, right?
It is my first time.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
This is obviously a topic that we were talking on the last show that's very important. And this is a topic, mental health, that we're going to be really hammering on this show in the next couple months. So with that being said, welcome.
All right, I'm going to take it away. So for people that this is their first time hearing about Healing Hoofbeats, Renee, can you tell them a little bit about what the organization is and what you do?
Yeah, so Healing Hoofbeats primarily does equine and animal-assisted therapy. We work with kids from, the tiniest of ages all the way up through people who are in their elderly stages of life, doing psychotherapy with the animals, and that also includes the veterans. So we are in Bethlehem, Connecticut. We just purchased in 2020, we purchased a 7.5-acre farm where we are working with all of our animals and all of our clients.
Awesome. Because I know you guys were floating around a little bit there, but
yes.
now you have a permanent place in Bethlehem. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, since you've been on the show, and this show's been around since 2013. I think this is probably the 4th or 5th time? 4th?
Yeah, maybe the 4th time we've been on. Yeah, and probably the 4th location.
Yeah.
And last.
Harwington, Morris.
Yep, and so 3.
Yeah.
And now Bethlehem.
Which I had the pleasure of visiting the other day. It was quite a facility you have up there.
Thank you.
Just being around the animals, and I took the pictures, and it was a pleasure taking those pictures.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Now, we've talked about in the past Operation Warrior Horse. Well, I'm going to let you talk about it.
Sure. So myself and my co-facilitator, Nikki, who is usually here with me, she and I created it in 2017, and it is a 10-week, 2-hour-a-week equine assisted psychotherapy group for veterans that we run completely funded by fundraising and grant writing, so that it is free to the veterans that participate. And so we find veterans from all over the state, maybe even in New York or Massachusetts if they're close enough, and they come and participate with us and start their healing journey.
Yeah.
So I know you say you fund it through grants and fundraisers. So is there a cost associated for the veterans?
No.
That's awesome.
Not at all.
That's awesome.
Liz, there's other populations of groups that you work with other than veterans.
Yeah, so Renee mentioned we are a full-service mental health outpatient program. So we service anyone that is in need of mental health services. So what we find really we're very successful at is working with people who are survivors of trauma, often typical therapy settings, sitting in an office, looking at a clinician, and facing that challenge head on is just too difficult for folks. And so being able to be on the farm, I call it a non-traditional setting. Non-traditional interventions work for folks all over the world, you know, in mental health. We have the added luxury of the fact that the relationships with the animals really bring a safety into that partnership of the clinical work. And so we also have clients struggling with autism spectrum disorders, anxiety and depression, you know, mood disorders. I mean, it can be a really solid fit for anyone who is struggling with their mental health or having behavioral health challenges. We really do a great job of helping people focus in and be able to begin that, as Renee always calls it, their healing journey, in partnership with their clinical staff and with all of the great animals that we have to help the process there.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
How long has this technique been around?
So equine, okay, now that we're in 2022, it's probably been around for about 30 years or so, but it's really only come to the forefront of mental health, I would say, in the past 10 years.
I mean, just those that have pets at home.
Yeah.
I mean, any type of, you know, pet or animal. I mean, it was just so relaxing the other day being up there. You know, I got your cats rubbing up against my leg. I'm like, what is that?
The cats are the best.
You know, I got some great pictures of those. And the horses. I mean, your horse came running over. I mean, it's just, there's, you know, I had put on Facebook souls, because they do have souls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, they've got their own personalities, and it's just great being around them. I can see where it would be a helpful tool.
One of the things that research is showing nationally with regards to equine, specifically equine-assisted therapy, is that horses are a social animal. Like they're meant to live in a herd, so they have the capacity for social connection, whether it's with their herd mates or with humans and with the folks that they're trying to help. But they're also a prey animal, and so because their nature is to be very in tune to biometrics, it's important that when you have to be regulating in order for the horse to be able to connect with you. Right. And so it becomes organically an opportunity for folks to really think about what's happening within their own body and their own emotional state, because the horses help us reflect on what's going on with ourselves. So it is a soul, for sure. It's a soul, but it also helps the people they're helping turn inward on our own souls and be able to think about what do we need to feel better and do better. So it works.
During the therapy, or treatment, I don't know what the appropriate word is to use, do they ride? Do they just work with the horse? What do they do?
So the way that I always frame it to anyone inquiring about our services is that things that have happened in our lives happens in the context of relationships, and that can be a positive thing or a negative thing. And so the way that we heal is through relationships. And that can be hard to do with a person, because a lot of the times that's where our difficulties have started, right? And so having the animals incorporated really helps to kind of bring down that pressure, and it allows for a non-judgmental being to be with us. There are definitely some programs that do incorporate, it's not riding, we're not teaching horseback riding skills, but we do incorporate mounted work where you're working on a different dynamic in the relationship. And so for me to tell you what does every session look like is super tough, because each client is an individual and each relationship is a separate entity, but it always goes back to what feels best for the relationship.
So it's not structured, it's just kind of go with the flow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to that organic relationship being what is the healing
journey.
Yeah, the healing journey, the driver of what helps us to heal.
The goal is not to teach people how to ride at all. So we are not a therapeutic riding program, although Renee is certified and Nikki is certified in therapeutic riding. That isn't our goal. Our goal is really about that relational work, which can go and include mounted work, but it isn't about riding right. It's about trusting and building that relationship to that next level.
Building that trust to get on the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not small.
They're not.
No, right.
We
and
do
so
have
that
two
in
little
itself
ones.
can really be, that can be challenging for somebody, right? If they're, you know, so it goes back to that regulating. How do I regulate myself so that I can continue this trust and then get on this horse's back?
It's well, you met my friend Donna. She has a horse in one of the local towns, and the first time up there being around a horse, actually it was the first time I was around a horse. It was one of our guests from the Middletown area. They're affiliated with the Hospital of Central Connecticut, and they have the equine, you know, therapy and all that. And I was asked to come down, and she wanted to take a picture of me with the horse. And she handed me the
Lead rope?
The lead.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. And I'm standing there like, you know, and she's taking a picture. And I'm like, you know, get this, you know, take the little thing back, you know. And the second time was up with Donna, and you know, you're standing there. Now I'm 6'1", 200 and well, I was 240 or so pounds. I'm a little lighter now, but that's nothing. You're standing there next to this horse that, you know, once they get used to you, you know, they're doing this stuff and pushing you back 10 feet. But now it's just a game, and it's fun doing it. But at first, it's got to be difficult for some of your clients to sit there and get used to being around an animal that size.
It can be, yeah.
And it's difficult to think that they're actually a prey animal. I mean, they're huge. But
So can people self-refer, or how do they get involved with your program?
Yeah, so both. So you can just contact us, or other providers have contacted us on behalf of clients and said, you know, I think so-and-so would be a great fit for this program. How do we get them involved? So it can be kind of either way.
Okay, and I think we have an email and a website for you that we're going to, if it's not up on the screen, we will get it up on our Facebook page and share through the Veterans Corner Facebook page the information on how they can find out more and contact you for the treatment too.
And after every time we have a show, as you know, in the past, I always take these pictures and put them on Facebook anyways, and that advertises for the group that was here with us.
Great. You should put the horse pictures on the Facebook page too.
Yes.
Yeah, but someone may have already done that.
Well,
we also have a Facebook page, so they can come, and we're doing a really good job of making sure there's little daily messages or photos of the herd or the cats or the goats, anybody doing cute things.
Well, you had that one picture of the goat sticking its tongue out.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did not see it. Which goat, Cheyenne?
No, it was Eli.
Oh, Eli.
Got a nice picture.
That means he likes you.
Tongue right out there. It was, you know, I'm making good friends up in the farm.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously been a lot of issues because of COVID and you know, military veterans. What are some of the trends that you've noticed with people in respect to mental health as of late?
So I think we can all kind of agree that our mental well-being has been at the forefront, you know, ever since COVID hit and all the other things that are going on in the world. We had to be in isolation for our physical health, and that has definitely not helped our mental health, right? And so, you know, especially when all of these other things in the world are going on, we look to our community and our supporters and our own networks for help. And when you can't always do that, that really affects our mental health. You know, so we're seeing a lot more depression. We're seeing a lot more anxiety in people. You know, and especially when it's time to start getting back out there, right? That can be really, really tough for people to start re-engaging in in-person things or just going back into the community in different manners. So yeah, we're seeing some big upticks in depression and anxiety.
Something as simple as driving.
Yeah.
I've heard that that's been an issue. Everyone's cooped up at home, you're not driving, and then all of a sudden you're going out into, we'll say, the jungle again, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
And I've heard that's been a big issue. Believe it or not.
I just wanted to add a trend that that we've talked about a lot as clinicians is the challenges already about people who are less comfortable asking for help. And so, you know, our veteran community is certainly known for stoicism and strength, right? So it's often really, really difficult for folks to ask for help. And it's carrying over now to really all first responders, to mental health providers, to frontline folks. And so, you know, a trend that's being observed is that the people who really are being the most impacted by the challenges of the last 2 years are those same folks that have a really hard time saying, oh wait, I need some help before I can help the next person. And so we have put together some groups targeted for mental health professionals, helping professionals, first responders, and it's really slow going to get people to come and take a little time to take care of themselves. And self-care is the only way that our world is going to get itself back to a functional norm. You know, we all have to take the time and accept the help when offered and ask for it when needed.
The key thing is asking for it.
Absolutely.
Don, I think we both know somebody that is guilty of that.
Yeah, more than one.
Me.
So,
I was going to say, are we talking about you?
Well, even in doing the work that I do through Veteran Strong Community Center, I have one clinician that he kind of innately knows when to call and check in on me and make sure, and he catches me and he knows that it's been a bad day and I need to vent, and that's great.
So he's your community.
He's my community.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know we pretty much talked about the horses, but you mentioned some of the other animals you have there, because they play into that too, just that animal relationship.
Absolutely.
You have cats.
We have 3 barn cats. We have 8 chickens. We have 3 goats, and hopefully more in the spring. Hopefully one of ours is pregnant. So we'll have some little baby goats.
And we have Penny.
And yes, and
We
our
have
therapy dog.
a certified therapy dog.
Oh, nice.
Penny.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you do goat yoga?
We
know some
tried.
people-
We do yoga on the farm, not necessarily in the goat's pen.
They're
but we
big
do.
now.
Yeah, they're about 50 pounds, so that wouldn't feel
that
good.
wouldn't be good.
But we do offer yoga on the farm in the summertime. So you're outside doing yoga amongst the animals.
Oh, nice. All right, I'm going to have to check that out myself.
Yes.
It's beautiful up there.
It is
I know.
beautiful up there.
I
isn't it?
know.
I ended up, when I left, I was out driving all over the place and wasting gas and taking pictures.
It's all worth it.
Having a good time. As we said, it must be amazing in the summer when there's foliage.
It is. It's beautiful. It's a very tranquil place. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what do you recommend for people to help them enhance their mental health and well-being during these tough times?
I would say one of the biggest things is to get outside more, get off the screens more, you know, and try and reconnect with your community, and ask for help if you need it. Right? That's the biggest thing, to take that step to say, I need some help.
You know, you would talk about fresh air and all that. I mean, Facebook, you know where I am almost every day. You know, I get out of work when I can, and I'm always out in the, you know, wherever I can be, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's my therapy.
Yeah.
I'm always doing that, almost daily.
Yeah, you are.
Except when it's raining out.
Well, that's
and
good.
even then, that's. You know, I may be out there. So that's.
And I think that's a good point. Self-care is individualized, right? So, but figure out what it is for yourself. It's you can only help yourself. If I enjoy one thing and I make a point to do that one thing for myself, that's a step.
I come from a background, an occupation that is probably one of the worst occupations that's guilty of not asking for help. Corrections.
I was going to say police. That was going to be my guess. So yeah, you're right. They are typically known as the worst.
Yeah, and that's why I know now that it's taken me a long time.
It's okay.
But
So if people wanted to support Healing Hoofbeats and Operation Warrior Horse. How can they go about doing that?
So for Operation Warrior Horse, like I said, it's fully funded by fundraisers and grant writing. We do hold 2 big fundraisers for Operation Warrior Horse a year. One is in the fall, and that is our Trailblazers fundraiser, where people are invited back to our old farm in Morris, actually, that abuts White Memorial Foundation.
Oh, nice.
And we host a fundraiser where people can come and hike, bike, or ride their horses on the trails, and then come back and enjoy some live music, some food, some raffles, and just an all-around family-friendly day.
I attended one of those.
You did, yes. Yep. So we didn't do one in 2020 because of the pandemic, but we did host one in 2019, and we just finished ours for 2021 in October.
Okay.
And then we do have our annual pasta dinner, which is coming up actually on March 26th, and that will be held at the American Legion Post 2 in Bristol.
Oh, my neck of the woods.
And that would be,
Come on
since
down.
these shows are rerun, we want to make sure that everybody knows that's the year 2022.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
We are in 2022.
As funny as that sounds,
But
Yeah.
you could check our website anytime. We always have an events page of what's coming up, and there's also other opportunities to donate. Those 2 fundraisers are specific to Operation Warrior Horse, so that we can raise. Our goal is 22 vets in 2022.
Right.
So we've been working really hard on our fundraising initiatives to get to that goal, so that we can sponsor Scholarship 22 veterans this year for the Operation Warrior Horse program. But we also have Adopt a Healer on our website, where you can donate money specifically toward the care of some of our animals, and contribute toward the farm through donations of specific need items that we might need for the care of the property and the animals. So check out the website. There's lots of ways you can help support us, and we appreciate all of it.
we have, as you know, it goes by so fast. I mean, we've got about 2 minutes left. Real fast, what are some of the other programs that you have?
Yeah, so
that you
we
offer?
are super excited to be running again our Girls Empowerment Group, and that's for tweens and teen girls to enhance their self-confidence and empower them in their lives. We also run what we call Green Thumb Academy, which is for kids 5 to 8, learning how to garden and learning how to take their food and bring it to the kitchen. We also, like I said, the Yoga on the Farm will be in the summertime, and then we are doing some demonstrations for mental health professionals to come in and figure out why we do what we do and how we do it.
That's great. Looking forward to having you back again.
Absolutely, it's great to be here.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to have new guests, and then we're going to split it up each night, and then we're going to have old guests come back and give us
Returning,
updates.
not old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Returning.
Yeah,
not old.
returning.
Returning. Yeah,
Poor
he doesn't
choice
know.
of words. Returning guests. Returning guests.
Seasoned.
Returning guests.
And then one of the other things we're going to do is all of these resources, we're going to organize them and have them on the Facebook page, so people
Nice.
can get contact information and everything right out on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Great.
Okay, we got about a minute left. So that's it. We want to thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having
It's
us.
good to see you again.
Thank you.
It's been a long time.
I know.
You know, it's always a very, very informative show, and like I said, we're really going to be hammering the mental health issues
That's needed.
on this show.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
And we are always here as a resource.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and I'll get up there in the spring or the summer and take some more pictures. and
Maybe
we
we'll
can-
have baby goats when you come.
There you go.
more goats that stick their tongue out at me.
Can I put
They
a
might.
request in for fall pictures? I love fall.
Oh, it is beautiful.
It's gorgeous
It's
in the fall.
Very, very beautiful.
Okay. Our Facebook page, the Veterans Corner CT. Anybody that wants to know what's going on with us,
It'll be there.
you can visit that. So with that being said, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure to have you, and good night, and see you next time at the Veterans Corner.
Water's warm at Jaws Pawn, and we're stocked full of treasures. Big or small, we buy it all. We buy and sell fast rides, power tools, vintage guitars, and so much more. Walk the plank in style with our fine jewelry, diamonds, and watches. Plus, we have a huge selection of the latest video games, including the new PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Jaws Pawn, conveniently located on Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington and West Main Street in New Britain.